everyone. We are live and welcome to this Facebook and Zoom launch celebrating the beautiful Christiana Egi, most recent author here at Carnelian Moon Publishing. She just launched her book, Unmasking Grandpa, Journey Through Vascular Dementia today, and it is available for everyone to purchase on Amazon. So what we're going to do is just a little bit of an introduction. I am so grateful to have this opportunity to share Christiana with you. She is an amazing person. She's an amazing author. She has so much going on in her life, but she does so much for so many. She has this beautiful spirit about her that is so giving and so loving. And when you meet her, you just know that you are meeting someone who is incredibly integrity oriented and is just a beautiful, beautiful individual. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is I would like to now introduce you to our guest of honor, Christiana Egi. Christiana, how are you doing, love? You can go ahead and mute yourself. Perfect.
I'm doing great, Judith. Thank you for this wonderful occasion. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome all of you wonderful ladies. Thank you for joining me on this fantastic launch of Unmasking Grandpa, a journey through vascular dementia.
Awesome, awesome. So Christiana, I know that you have a lot of things on the go. So do you want to maybe share with our listeners what you do in the world, how you walk through the world, and how you share yourself in the world?
Yeah, so my day job is actually operating at 2 memory care facilities in Scarborough, Ontario, where we have some wonderful residents who are walking this dementia journey. And we've got the most wonderful, caring, loving staff that I call the Alexis Lodge Angels. And that is actually what brought me along this journey of writing books. So last year, I published my first book, A Rose for Grandma, A Journey Through Alzheimer's. And now we are launching my second book, Unmasking Grandpa, A Journey Through Vascular Dementia. And God willing, next spring, we'll be launching my third book, Dancing with Memories, A Journey Through Mixed Dementia. Dementia actually is in global epidemic proportions, and it's growing. And the one thing that I want to do is to help demystify dementia, because even though it's so rampant, a lot of people still do not know about dementia. There's still a lot of confusion. So my journey is to increase awareness, share some life lessons, and also educate in the process, because dementia is actually ripping the fabric that holds families together, because it is a devastating disease. And without knowing much about it, it just traumatizes and destroys families. So I want us all, through my books and through, maybe discussions, to hold our hands together and help to, walk through society at large and help people and just respect, dignify, and be compassionate.
Oh, Christiana, it's beautiful what you're doing in the world. And if I can just ask you, there was something that you and your husband did that this is just so incredibly moving and beautiful. Just the heart that you both had, and what it means to people. So could you just maybe give us a little bit of information, share something about your organization and how that was set up?
So Alexis Lodge Retirement Home was born in 1999 after the birth of our third child, Alexis. Prior to that, I was working at CAMH, one of Canada's largest psychiatric hospitals. And, just the pain and suffering that I saw with patients coming back, in really bad situations, not getting enough support in the community. And so it broke my heart. I'll come home and complain, just wishing if they only had support someone to help them, remind them to take their medications, someone to help them with self-care and so forth. My husband would listen patiently. So after Alexis was born, he decided that we should do something. He asked me to do something about it. That was when I decided that we'll go the dementia route. I wanted to look after seniors. It's unfortunate that in spite of the fact that we're in Canada, which is a developed country, the stigma around mental health is just as bad as it was in Nigeria when I was a student nurse. I thought for sure it'll be different here, but it's not. And there's not just the stigma around mental health, there's the ageism, where seniors are not really respected as they should be, after contributing so much to society. All we can do is revere them and respect and learn from them. So that is why we started Alexis Lodge. But in so doing, through the years, I realized that there was more that needed to be done. I could still see the pain and suffering. Having residents where almost 70% of our resident populations have no family involvement. I started to wonder what is causing it. Eventually, from, thinking maybe they don't care, but coming to the realization that this disease is so, devastating that by the time families actually move their loved ones into facilities, they are burnt out. They have nothing else left. And some of them just wash their hands off. So that is why I thought, maybe if I write some books or share more knowledge and awareness across not just Toronto, but across the world, because like I said, this disease is global.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely is. And I know that I have had relatives and loved ones who have had dementia, and it is extremely challenging to watch your loved ones literally disappearing before your eyes. So thank you so much for all that you do, Christiana. It's beautiful that you and your husband brought this incredible organization and service to the forefront so that families can have that incredible support that they need, because definitely it is a challenge to to continue to do it on a daily basis. And thank you for all that you do. I cannot wait for your book, your message, your gift to the world to really get out there and to reach people, because this is something, like you said, mental illness, mental issues, they are something that a lot of people have difficulty talking about. And it's definitely time to be bringing all of these things into the forefront and to actually have conversations. So thank you so much for everything that you do, and thank you for sharing your beautiful mission in life. It is fantastic. So Christiana, are you ready to read a passage, one of your first passages from your new book?
Yeah, so this is a scene that took place when Tony, the protagonist of this book, was with his grandfather. So his uncle Robinson came along and said, "Dad, did you send that shipment of jerseys?" Grandpa was shocked and he said, "What shipment of jerseys?" He looked really surprised. And Tony started to think, that's weird. We had just finished packaging them a few hours ago. Why doesn't Grandpa know that what Uncle Robinson is talking about? The shipping company just billed us for 5 boxes of jerseys, but it should have been only 3. Look, he holds out his clipboard. I only packed 3 boxes, Grandpa protests. And then Tony's like, that's not true. I'm confused. I know we packed 5 boxes, but I don't see anything to embarrass Grandpa. So you can just imagine the frame of mind of this young kid. He had packed 5 boxes of jerseys with his grandfather and they were shipped off. Now the son is asking and grandpa is in total denial. And, Tony is now wondering, is my grandfather lying? I mean, this is his hero. This is a man who has taught him honesty and, integrity. But so Tony was quite confused about what was happening. So this is one of those things that happen, to people with dementia, even as adults. When your loved ones start telling you things that you think are, tales out of school or something that is misleading, you get confused. And these are some of the things that, families internalize, like when your loved ones start accusing you of stealing their money and stuff like that. And some family members never forgive their parents for that. So that is the first thing I would like to share.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Christiana.
Welcome.
This is an opportunity for everyone to really be able to share Christiana's information out with their own loved ones, their own families, their own friends. So I would really love to share with you the link where you can go and you can choose the store that you would like to purchase the copy of Unmasking Grandpa from. And as well, that particular page also hosts the link to Christiana's first book, Rose for Grandma. So you can get both of those books, and they are on they're on Amazon. They're also on Barnes and Noble, and her book is going to be on stores basically worldwide. So Christiana, how are you feeling, love?
Excited.
So what was your first thought? And I'm going to go back to A Rose for Grandma first, okay? What was your first thought when you got your books and you knew that they were out in the world? Can you go back to that day?
Yeah, I was really happy. I wanted, people to have a taste of what it is that I do and the stories that I've been through. It's like, I often think about, a lot of people who write stories or people that have written books on dementia, especially children's books, they talk about one experience, but my book is loaded with, years of experience and from several hundreds of residents and, stories that I have heard. So my books actually just does not only outline what is going on, but it also gives you little nuggets of how to mitigate these situations. For instance, I think I was talking to somebody recently, and actually it's my co-host. I co-host a podcast, a wellness podcast called Forever Young. So while we're doing the book launch on the podcast, and I explained about one situation where one of my residents' son, who had not seen his father for several years because he thought his father would not recognize him. When he walked through the door, the father called out a name and he was shocked because he said that was his brother's name and that the father always misidentified them. See, this dementia journey is very tricky. You don't know when it actually starts, so it might take years before you realize. Who knows how long it was for that father to actually start manifesting enough symptoms to be diagnosed and, so that story. And then she turned and told me that her father, rest his soul, who passed away recently, also used to misidentify her as his sister. So she's visiting her dad and he's asking her, how is my daughter? So, when you don't know and you don't understand, you start thinking, this is weird. Why is this person treating me this way? So those are things that, are so important that I share in my books throughout. You learn little stories of real life situations.
Oh, awesome. Wow. That's amazing. So you have a third book in the works as well. You're a busy lady. I get tired just knowing all the things that you are doing. Unmasking Grandpa, this is a book that is going to really touch a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people are going to be able to relate to Tony, for example, because of how he's feeling watching his grandfather and the things that his grandfather ends up doing that Tony, you know, doesn't quite understand why he's doing them. So do you have any plans of adding additional books after these first three?
Yes, actually, I'm working on caregiver burnout. As all of us know, the pandemic has taken its toll on everyone, and caregivers actually are just, you know, they have that last little strand of head standing on. So I want to do something on caregiver burnout, which also I relate to why a lot of my residents don't get that family involvement that they should. So I think our knowledge is power. So when you know more, when you understand, you're able to have more empathy and compassion. And so that is why also when I decided to write books, I decided to write them through the eyes of children, because sometimes children are forgotten in this whole process, you know, like, you know, parents are dealing with things, hush, hush, hush. But that child is just wondering, why doesn't grandpa smile at me anymore? Or why doesn't grandma play with me? Does she not love me anymore? And then they internalize this and they can start acting out, you know, or withdraw, even going to a depression. So it is so important that as difficult as this process, this journey is, it's a little bit easier when we all come together, when families come together as a unit. The other thing that I need to mention is that, like at the beginning, I said dementia is misunderstood. Dementia itself is not a disease. It's a group of symptoms that affects the memories, behaviors, and so forth, so that it affects how someone functions. And just because you have dementia does not mean that life is over or you can no longer do things. It just means you can now do things, but in a modified way, simplified way. The other thing I want to note is that dementia, there are several types. Some people go, so maybe my mom has Alzheimer's or maybe she has dementia. There are several types of dementia. So Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia, and vascular dementia is the second most common. You've got mixed dementia, you know, Lewy body and so forth. The thing is, vascular dementia actually excites me. I like to talk about this because none of us is exempt. It can happen to any one of us. And it's the one of the dementias that is most preventable because it results from vascular diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, you know, obesity, and things like this. And new science is telling us that our gut health is very important, that lifestyle can make a difference in disease processes. So if any one of us already has high blood pressure, diabetes, and so forth, please be on top of it, maintain it. If you already actually started experiencing damage, like you're already in the process of vascular dementia, you can actually stop it in its track by mitigating that causative factor, that comorbidity, and you will end up having your memories for a lot longer.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. You know, you are such a wealth of knowledge, and you are, I would absolutely love to see you sharing your wisdom and your incredible knowledge out in a podcast. Do you have a podcast around this topic?
Yes, the Forever Young podcast, we've done things on gut health, brain health. We've done something on the book launch. There are so many things you can find when you go to Forever Young podcast. It's
okay,
on
so
every platform that you can listen to podcasts.
Awesome. So you can find the Forever Young podcast pretty well anywhere, right? On iTunes,
Spotify,
yeah,
you know, radio,
awesome.
and internationally and so forth. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we will be making sure that we can link that podcast for viewers as well. That will be in our replay link. So you'll be able to check out Christiana's podcast as well. Just amazing, amazing, amazing. So I've actually put your link to the book links where people can purchase Unmasking Grandpa in the Facebook chat settings. And I just want to share a few messages that we've had. Oh, more than a few. Okay, more than a few messages. Derek Freeman wants to say, congratulations, Mrs. Egi. Marguerite Latibaudier, I apologize if I have butchered your last name. I'm so sorry. She would also love to congratulate you, Christiana. Emily Campbell, so excited to receive our copy of the book. And she's got a beautiful heart there.
Nice.
Dee Marie, congratulations, and lots of hearts as well. And Sumut, there needs to be more places like Alexis Lodge. Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's beautiful. Oko Solomon, woohoo! Wishing Christiana more success in the care of humanity. Praying hands. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, and let me just see. I just want to go through these because, yeah, they were coming in fast and furious. That's why my phone was going off. Valentino Burrow, sorry again. Congratulations. Oh, where did it go? So proud of you. And finally, we've got Evelyn Momo. Congratulations, Ma. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt sentiments.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. So thank you, everyone, for sharing that. We have got a number of viewers on here. We've got reactions going on. We've got comments going on. We've got people sharing. So that is beautiful. So thank you, everyone, for being here and for helping to celebrate Christiana even more. So up next, I would love to introduce to you our first guest speaker, and this is a dear lady by the name of Esther Atimo. She's the executive director of Mully Children's Family Canada. Prior to joining Mully Children's Family Canada, she worked with the Alzheimer's Society in Toronto for 10 years, where she developed and delivered person-centered education programs to help professional and family caregivers gain a good understanding of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Esther has degrees in gerontology, a master's in leadership from the University of Guelph, and a master's in business administration from Athabasca University. So I would love to bring Esther on now. Esther, the room is yours, love.
Oh, hi there, Judith. Thank you for the lovely, lovely introduction. And congratulations for hosting this very, very important event for our friend, Christiana. I'm using two screens, so I see you on one screen. I want you to see me on one screen, but I see everybody on the other screen. So if I look to the side, that's why. Christy, it's a great, great joy and honor to be here to celebrate your book launch. But I just wanted to also congratulate you as a person. I've known you, Christy, for nearly 3 years now, but from the moment we met, actually we met at the Alzheimer's Society, where you came and shared a little bit about your work with us as a team at the Alzheimer's Society. I was just drawn to you because of your passion. As well said, Judith, earlier, you said how generous you are with your expertise, with your knowledge. And I wanted to stay in touch and not lose a hold of you. So thank you for being my friend for these years. But also it's been a great opportunity to learn from you. I've been working with healthcare professionals all of my career life in Canada, which is around 20 years. And one of the things that students worry about when they're in college is caring is not easy. how can you fake it? After some time, would you lose your passion? And those are some of the questions that I hear from students who I personally was a personal support worker, but I've worked in hospitals. I've worked, as I mentioned, with the Alzheimer's Society. But one thing with Christy is how she has maintained her call as a nurse, her call and passion, and to care genuinely and not just by word, by action. And so you see those values in Christy every day. She's very joyful, she's very collaborative, and she's a leader. So thank you so much for leading this conversation around dementia in our community. It's a topic we all really need to understand well. And there's a divide between what the textbook says and how much more valuable to hear from you, because you have the experience of both the theory and the practice, and not just practice for a year or so. You've been doing this since 1999. So it's my joy and honor to be here, but I honor you. I honor your late husband. I honor your family for your commitment and your team. Alexis is such a lovely home. I've been to Alexis Lodge, and one other thing, it's impossible to say everything at this point, but what I also respect and appreciate and honor you for is that people love to work with you, individuals, organizations, and just because you draw that quality of good professionals around you, good individuals around you. And so I'm really excited about partnering with you, and aligning myself with you, and using your platforms to be able to reach out to our community. And both of us being Black women, we know that in our community, this topic is even much more misunderstood, or we need to share this knowledge. So thank you for your gift, thank you for your talent, thank you for your knowledge, and thank you for the gift of the book, Unmasking Grandpa. May God bless you, and very, very best to you. Thank you, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Esther.
Thank you, Esther.
I just love these opportunities to listen in on what an author's friends, family, coworkers, and acquaintances are thinking when the book is finally out there. And it is so beautiful to hear from other people's perspectives, because I've had the opportunity to work directly with Christiana for a little while now, and everything that you mentioned, Esther, her value, her integrity, everything. Working with Christiana is a beautiful experience. It is. I would girl, rent yourself out there to be a mentor to people who need your kind of beautiful energy and spirit and enthusiasm. It would be such a beautiful world if everyone had even a little ounce of Christiana in them. So thank you for all that you do. It really truly is. I am so privileged. I feel so privileged. It's been an exceptional experience for me. So I can imagine how your friends and everyone that you are associated with feels. That is like, a million times more than I would even know at the moment. But what I'd like to do now, Christiana, is just bring you back and just check in with you. How are you feeling after hearing all of these congratulations? And
my head is getting bigger and bigger by the minute. So I hope it can fit through the door when I leave later. Thank you so much, Esther. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And of course, it's a mutual thing. I learn from you, you learn from me, and I know that together we can make a difference. So we'll keep working and, just trying to do what we can in our little corner of the world. So thank you, Esther.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you have your second book out in the world now. It released today, and today is actually really special, isn't it?
It is, yes.
It is. I'll let you tell us.
Today is World Alzheimer's Awareness Day. So it's very befitting that my book is being released on this special day, just, to add to the whole picture, to continue to increase awareness. It's not something that has to be done in one day, it's something that we have to do every day. And even if you are not, it's almost like COVID. If you've not been touched by COVID, you know someone, or you know of someone who has been touched. So dementia is becoming the same thing. I think when we go to training or conferences, they say at 85 or something, look to your left, look to your right, one of you will have Alzheimer's or dementia, so the statistics are pretty hefty. So if you don't have it in your family, you may know of a family that has it. It is so important that when you know how difficult it is, that you learn to offer assistance. It's just something as simple as bringing a meal for that family, or even offering to just go sit with someone's parent while they go for a 10-minute walk. There are so many ways that we can help. And also even doctors, I find that, a lot of family doctors don't have the resources they need to refer these people on. So that is another thing, community awareness. There are lots of resources out there, but a lot of these older folks don't know much about social media or, online, about technology. So it's difficult for them to find those resources. So if we can do it in our churches, schools and so forth, we will be able to send out more information so that when families are struggling, they will get their hands on the right information of where to go for support. It is so important and helpful.
Now, your book as well, speaking of resources, you've included a number of resources in the back of this book, Unmasking Grandpa, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So this is a little bit early in the broadcast, and I was going to leave this for the end, but I think that this is important because given that, this is something that needs to get out there more and more. What would you want people to take away today from attending your book launch and knowing that your book is out there, and you have the platform to now say what you would love for them to know? What would be one beautiful message you would like them to receive from you today?
Compassion. Yeah, to have compassion. When you see somebody who is different, instead of staring or laughing, just take a step back and imagine, or try it. At least when people now know from these conversations that we are having about these diseases, I think people will have become more sensitive, to others. You see that older person, acting weird, instead of laughing, you want to go and say, oh, can I help you? Do you need help or something? Or you see someone laughing at them, it will be the next passage that I'm going to read. Just walk up to that person and, try to just give them a little bit of information, or just a little bit of instantaneous education on sensitivity. Say you shouldn't really be laughing. Maybe this person needs help, that type of thing. So that's what I want people to take away. Just that compassion, have a heart of love. It will make the world a better place.
Wow. That is so powerful. And, especially in the day and time that we're living in now, where it seems like everyone feels that they have the right to say whatever is on their mind, regardless whether that is nice or kind. Beautiful compassion. and oh wow, that I like literally have goosebumps from that one word that you just shared, Christiana. Thank you so much for that. Someday more and more people like you, we will get there. We will get there. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to our next beautiful guest. So again, I have the beautiful opportunity to introduce to you Mary Vary. She was born in Toronto nearly 75 years ago. So she's just very, very young. She's the youngest of all of us. Oh, and you will see that because this lady is beautiful. And with just one hip replacement, she's still going strong. That is amazing, Mary. She was married, raised 3 wonderful children, worked as an elementary school teacher, and volunteered for a number of organizations devoted to education and the arts. She was juggling her responsibilities as a director of a trade school, an instructor at 2, oh, here's another powerhouse lady, an instructor at 2 local colleges, and doing her best to care for her mother, who was suffering with advancing Alzheimer's disease. Then her life took an interesting turn. Christiana and her dedicated, compassionate staff welcomed Mary's mother into their home, and she jumped at the chance to work alongside Christiana and the staff in this most remarkable of havens. So with that beautiful introduction, I now introduce to you Mary Vary. Mary, you have the room.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Judith. And thank you for this beautiful tribute to Christiana and to everybody who's here. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. And Esther, thank you so much for capturing the character of Christiana so beautifully. She's an amazing person who leads by example. And it's just been an amazing journey to be with her. My family and I have had the opportunity to benefit from Christiana's beautiful work at Alexis Lodge. My grandmother had Alzheimer's disease. My mother had Alzheimer's disease. And this book is extremely special to me and my family because my brother now has vascular dementia. And I cannot wait for your next book, Christiana, because my dear sister-in-law, who is looking after my brother at home, is until she can't any longer, but she is really devoting herself to him. And I really think it will be wonderful when she can read your book about caregiver burnout. It's going to be so important. I never could have imagined that Alzheimer's that affected my mother would lead me to someone who is stronger than anyone I have ever known, someone who has never wavered from the path that she was so excited to follow, someone so humble and filled with the joy of living. That very special someone is Christiana Egi.
Thank you.
I can safely say that her family, her quest for knowledge, her sense of duty, and her faith are among Christiana's dearest treasures. These guiding principles have brought comfort to countless people who were enriched by Christiana's work, her lectures, and her writings. She really understands the importance of every family's dynamics in times of great joy as well as in challenging times. She has availed herself of the finest educators in her field, giving her words credibility and equity. She lives a life guided by her faith and strength in the strength of human nature. Until very recently, it has been taboo, even a source of shame, to talk about a family member's struggle with dementia. I cannot stress enough the importance of Christiana's books because they open the doors to discussion for us. They give us permission to talk and share our experience with dementia and its impact on our lives. And we magically discover that we're not alone. Too many of us have been cheated out of the opportunity to show our love to our beloved, affected family members in a meaningful way because we didn't understand. My grandmother was at the heart of so much of my happiness as a child. When she began to change, I didn't understand what had happened. I was afraid because I didn't recognize her familiar ways anymore. Now I know I needed this book. My whole family needed this book so we could begin to talk and help one another understand. Christiana not only writes about caring for our demented loved ones, she lives her beliefs. My mother was 5'1", proud, professional, and polite in her illness, before her illness was. But I see Christiana laughing because that's really true. But the fear and anxiety and confusion caused by her dementia had made her lash out and actually escape from some of the most highly rated, secure facilities where she never really felt at home. They were beautiful. They were the talk of the town, but she never felt at home there. She was actually evicted from 3 places because they simply could not manage her. Her last facility that dismissed her gave me only 1 day to find a new place for her. Imagine my sense of panic at the moment. So I wasn't feeling very optimistic when I went for a visit to Christiana's retirement home, Alexis Lodge, to see if they would maybe accept her there. I walked to the front door of the house and was greeted by this lovely lady with the most contagious laugh and beautiful smile, who said, "Of course, your mother's most welcome here in our home." And it happened to be Christiana. Inside, I heard the sound of laughter, music, smelled the most delicious aroma of chicken stew cooking on the stove in the kitchen. I saw some residents playing a board game in the dining room and people dancing in the living room. I was delightfully confused. This atmosphere is what Christiana knew was needed to make our dear ones feel at home and help them manage their anxiety without as many medications. My mother finally felt she was at home. She felt loved. I was thrilled that Christiana asked me to work with her as she and her staff cared for our adopted family. I learned the importance of discussing and teaching about dementia and bringing it out in the open. Her new book, Unmasking Grandpa, A Journey Through Vascular Dementia, will open the doors to discussion and bring much needed guidance. Dementia is real. It affects nearly everyone. It has been shrouded for too long. It's time for dementia to come out of the closet. Please read this book with your spouse, to your children, with your grandchildren, and with your friends. That's all I can say. Thanks, Christiana.
Thank you so much, Mary. That is so moving.
Well, you know, I had to write this down because I knew I was going to cry.
I truly appreciate you. Actually, it's been almost 20 years. I think next year will be 20 years. And Mary has remained. Once you come to Alexis Lodge, you become a family member. And Mary has become my sister, actually. And there's so many stories. She was the one that brought us online. She helped us set up our website. She created some brochures that I still use to this day. And Mary, just like you said, she's a powerhouse of a lady. Thank you so much, Mary. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Mary. That was such a beautiful and touching tribute. Absolutely. I mean, a little bit of tears here. You shared so much so beautifully. Thank you. And I don't want to even try to follow that because there's no way that I can.
Well, you may have noticed that I have my closet behind me here. And I'm sure you understand. It means it's time to come out of the closet.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it.
Time to unmask dementia.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Wow. Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful message. Time to unmask dementia. Oh, wow. Yeah. Love it. Okay, Christiana, we're just going to visit a few more congratulatory posts here. I want to share with you from Melvina Thomas. She's sending you congratulations with a heart, of course. Alexandra Egi, such an inspiration. Big, beautiful heart as well. You have so much love here. This is so beautiful to witness and to be a part of. So I myself want to thank you again for everything that you do in this world. You are such a blessing to everyone whom you meet. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the book that you have written, which is so amazingly powerful and necessary. I want everyone in the universe to have a copy of this book. So please, please, please go to the link. I will again put that link in the show notes or the chat in Facebook, where you'll be able to find it. It will be there for the replay as well. You'll also be able to go to our YouTube channel here at Carnelian Moon, and you will be able to watch a replay of this book launch as well. So please share it out with your friends, share it out with your family, co-workers, anyone you know who could benefit from this amazing book and connecting with this beautiful, beautiful lady. Okay, so we are doing pretty good on our time. I am actually very impressed. So what I would like to do now, if she is available, Karen, if you can just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. All right. Okay. So our final guest, but definitely not our last guest as far as this beautiful lady goes, is Karen. Okay. Now, Karen, I am probably going to end up saying your name wrong. So can you say it right for me, please?
It's Shiambola.
Shiambola
Ellington. Yes.
Okay. So Karen Shiambola, I love that. Ellington. She is a Caribbean-born, Canadian-trained educator and artist. Ooh, artist. I love artists. With over 30 years experience. She's certified by the Ontario College of Teachers, or OCT, and the Ontario Principals Council in primary, junior, and intermediate senior education, visual arts, First Nations, oh my goodness, Métis and Inuit education. Oh, thank you. And special education with a focus on problematic disorders. She specializes in teaching, coaching, working with high-risk students who may be racialized and or marginalized students, Indigenous students, students with exceptionalities, and or combinations thereof. Thank you for your service, dear. Her professional experience consists of teaching at the elementary, and secondary levels, lecturing at a visual and performing arts college for 5 years, living and teaching at a federal First Nations school in an isolated Indigenous community in Northwestern Ontario for over a year, and working internationally and locally as a visual artist, art educator, special educator, principal, and author of the upcoming book. So stay tuned. Steps to Yes, Transforming Behaviors for Kids of All Ages. Wow. She has a passion for developing appropriate intervention processes for students with at-risk concerns through transformational coaching and using visual arts and music as expressive arts therapy with students struggling with mental illness, autism spectrum disorder, behavior disorder, ADHD, eating and anxiety disorders. She practices inclusion and equity and believes that sharing and creating a shared vision and trusting relationships within a spiritual context will ensure successful outcomes. Currently, she is a founding member of a nonprofit advocacy group, Youth Empowerment Support, or YES. I love that. Specifically dealing with Indigenous communities. Her personal and exhibited artworks include paintings in oil and watercolor, inspired by personal experiences, infused with spiritual positivity. She lives, paints, writes, teaches music, and conducts My Portals to Potential coaching in Oakville, Ontario. I am honored to bring to the room Karen. Welcome, love.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow. Well, I am, when you said the last but not the least, it's actually, I did a switch, and it's actually a bit appropriate, because we went from her most current, interaction with what Christiana is doing now, going right back to the beginning. I've known Christiana from she arrived in Canada, and as a young single girl, and I've known her journey throughout. She has been passionate about this from the very beginning. I knew her when she worked at CAMH. We exchanged all the stories. I was studying as a teacher. Special ed was my passion. So we're drawn to it from two ends. Hers, the geriatric end and the acute care end, and me with the children. So it's been a parallel journey. And Christiana has been an inspiration, a mentor, and continues to be a shoulder, that I bounce things off of, and we talk to each other. We've had our children at the same time, and so I've interacted with Alexis Lodge. My husband and I, we've gone there, we've done music, we've gone to their barbecues. So I know the type of, environment that it is. A recent experience was my uncle. His wife was diagnosed, and Christiana, of course, they live in the East End and Richmond Hill area. I connected them. And he was so impressed when he saw the videos and met with her that he wanted to move in with his wife, and she said to him, well, this is a testimony to her honesty in terms of advice. She could have said yes, because, hey, it's a business, right? But she said to him, it would be great for her, but you would need more stimulation. So I wouldn't advise it to be an environment for you. But he wanted to be somewhere where they could be together. And he was so disappointed that he couldn't move in, because he felt quite at home. He felt the family atmosphere. This is what he wanted. And being of Caribbean heritage, and we're from Jamaica, and just the atmosphere, the food, cooking, because he cooks very well, the music, it was like home. This is what he wanted. They have, with her advice, they have found another assisted living place. And he said to me, we're getting used to it. It has all the bells and whistles, as Mary talked about. But, he liked that atmosphere at Alexis Lodge. And I've celebrated all the awards that they have won over the years, and, very proud of her. But I know it comes from within. And I call it, we say painting, teaching, speaking from the inside out. Christiana does this from the inside out. Her first book, A Rose for Grandma, I've shared with students, with schools, the principal here where I am at the school. And it has generated a lot of discussion with the children. And whenever you want adults to understand something, write a book for children, because they will understand it. Mm-hmm. And, the children have been able to recognize what has happened to their grandparents. And they have all kinds of stories to give me when we're talking, and what they can do and what they can go back and do. And they're going to tell mom and dad or whoever, this is what we need to do. And it starts there. And that's so important, because if you can get the next generation to understand and to empathize or sympathize or be compassionate, then we will then change society little by little by little. I have to say that I've been honored. It's been a blessing to know Christiana. And this other book, Unmasking Grandpa, we've talked about it. I mean, I have high blood pressure. And of course, the information, I learned something new even from reading them. And I have done nutrition with Christiana, my husband and I. She actually helped to reverse my husband's diabetes. So, Christiana, I'm going to put you in trouble now, and I'm going to be calling you. And it is true. Gut health is so important. And I have made it a thing that I'm going to try very hard not to get diabetes, because you can tell I'm a sweet person. I love the sweets. So I am fluffy. So I have to work hard at that. And there are ways. And I did a workshop with our racialized women or Black women the other day about preventing diabetes, because it's something in our society, in our diet, in our food. And Christiana, I don't know if you heard this, but I think 2 weeks ago, it came over the news that research has now said they have linked dementia and Alzheimer's to processed food. So I heard that and I said, wow, look at this. This is why we have so much of this in society, because if you notice, most of the industrialized countries have a higher percentage of diagnoses of dementia and Alzheimer's and all the various ones than the developing countries in the world. And you wonder, why is that? And there is a huge link to nutrition. And so, Christiana, I congratulate you and keep going, my love. I applaud it. And I will be sending them out. I sent out the first book and a lot of people bought. And here at the school, the principal loved the first one and the second one's on the way. And, I will continue to try and educate the next generation on this. So big support, much love. And, I hope I don't need a room, but, if I do, make sure you have my name on a door somewhere. I'm going to try very hard. Because we don't know. We really don't know. So you have to prepare. You have to prepare everyone around you and destigmatize. And this is what she's doing. I remember she saw the issue when she worked at CAMH. And I remember her talking with Tony and saying, what can I do? And it wasn't easy, but she stepped out in faith and did a bold thing, and look at it now, 20 something years later, look at this, so congratulations, madam.
Thank you, Karen. Truly appreciate it. So Karen was one of the very first few friends I made in Canada at church about 35 years ago when I came to Canada. We were young adults and we partied together in good faith. Had children, and we are, everyone here, you are all my sisters. So you can see that I cherish my relationships, and that's what we do at Alexis Lodge. Coming from Nigeria, family is everything. I have so many uncles, aunts, cousins, because Nigeria is one family. And so that's all I know, and that's what I've done here too. So it's really a blessing to meet all of you, and to have met, I should say, all of you, to have you in my life. And from the day, actually, Judith and I, we planned a half an hour conversation, right? That was, we ended up talking for 2 hours. She resonated so much. It's like, oh my goodness, this woman. I called Esther. I'm like, she's amazing. Karen, I told, like, you've just been a blessing, all of you. I think science is the opposite attract. I think in humanity, opposites actually don't attract. Is they say birds of the same feather flock together. So yeah, so we are all similar in our ways. And I'm just honored to be sitting here with you guys. Thank you.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Christiana. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Karen. Oh my goodness. That was beautifully spoken as well. Thank you to Christiana's guests. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Karen. It has been such a privilege to hear what your thoughts are and to get to know Christiana a bit more through each of your eyes and life experiences with her. I love it. Thank you for sharing. So Christiana, we're going to go back to some of the comments. Okay, so I have to figure out where I left off here. Okay, now again, I'm going to put a big disclaimer. If I butcher somebody's name, I do sincerely apologize. My name and pronunciations are sometimes not very good, so I do apologize. But Nameka. Okay. She says, congratulations, big heart. Stephanie Marian says, congratulations, big heart. Derek Freeman, oh, the world needs more of you. Thanks for touching my life. Heart, heart, heart. Beautiful. Thank you, Derek. Valentino, the presenter says she wants everyone in the universe to have a copy of Christiana's new book. So do I. May this wish come to pass. Yes, may it. Thank you so much, Valentino. I appreciate that. John Clark, congratulations. Absolutely. Oh, they're moving again. Namaka says, what? Happy to have met you and honored to call you friend. May God continue to bless everything that you do.
Amen.
Melvina Thomas sends her congratulations as well. Marguerite, thank you. This has been a lovely launch of your second book, Christiana. You also had a great hosts and speakers. Thank you, Marguerite. I wish you nothing but a ton of success with this book. And I'm sure that we can all agree that we wish you nothing but a ton of success with this book and so much more. There is so much more Christiana is going to be doing in the world. I know that you are a powerhouse lady and you make things happen. You do not sit and you do not think about what you're going to do. You know what you want to do. You do it. You get it done. I love, love, love the attitude that you bring to the world, and your charitable heart. You're just amazing. You are just amazing, and there's no other words that need to be added to that. Thank you for everything that you do. And so what I'd like to do before we close off in celebration, we are running slightly late, but that is perfectly fine because it's only 2:05. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you, sorry, did you say something, Mary? No. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'd like to ask you, Christiana, to maybe come back with one more passage from your book. And then we will move. Oh, I think maybe that might be me. Then we will move into raising a glass to celebrate you. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to set this up. This is after an incident that took place. After Tony had a basketball game, one of his friends, he overheard one of his teammates talking about his grandfather, laughing at him actually. So Anthony got upset. This is a young man who never, really raises his voice, but he really wanted to get into a fight. So the next day, Grandma shows up after school to take me out for a treat. It's a memory club day. So Grandpa started going to a memory club to give Grandma a break because Grandpa wasn't sleeping most nights. So Grandma was starting to get tired. So to avoid caregiver burnout, they decided to register Grandpa at a seniors club. So she has time to drive over for a visit. We buy ice cream, and she mentions that she heard what happened in the locker room. Most people do not understand how to deal with people who are different. They don't know the individual's story. And rather than try to understand what a person is dealing with, they choose to make fun. Although Brian is still very young, if he does not learn how to respect others, he will continue to do the same thing even when he's older. You know better than to fight, sweetheart. You should use the knowledge you have about Grandpa's condition about Grandpa's condition to educate your friends, not get angry and get into fights. Grandpa loves you to the moon and back. Never forget that. What Grandma says gives me an idea. So this is what I talked about earlier. You know, when you get children young, the next generation, as Karen said, when you teach them sensitivity, inclusion, respect for others, it carries over to adulthood. If Brian doesn't learn now, he's going to be one of those adults that has no respect for other people. It will not just be an older person that he laughs at. It could be, you know, someone who is just distraught, you know. It could be in a workplace, you know, your coworker is not having a good day. You cannot even find it in your heart to ask what happened, or just, you know, support them, or just be good to others. So I think this is the foundational stone of this whole story, you know, how to, you know, cherish, respect, dignify, how to remove stigma, how to be inclusive, and how to, you know, be compassionate. So this summarizes it all. And this is what actually led to Unmasking Grandpa. That's what gave him the idea on how to unmask his grandfather. So if you get your copy, you will see the rest of the story.
And I do encourage everyone to get a copy of Christiana's book. It is available as a Kindle book, but it is also today available as a paperback. And I know that you are going to find this book one of your most treasured possessions, because there's so much meaning behind the story, and it does affect so many people. And so I want to thank each of you for being here with us today. Each of our beautiful guests, Mary, Esther, Karen, thank you so much for bringing such beautiful gifts and words to the platform and to share with Christiana. I want to thank all of our Facebook attendees as well. Thank you so much for being here and for all of your beautiful comments as well. And we will be having a replay through our YouTube channel. I will be posting that here in Facebook as well. And you can visit us there, or you can visit the replay here on Facebook. And I will have links to where you can purchase Christiana's book. There are going to be a number of other places that will become available as the book moves through the system and becomes available globally, worldwide, in practically every country around the world. So let's make sure that the message gets out there, that this beautiful book gets out there. And so now what I would love to do is I'd love to invite each of you to raise a glass. So if you have a glass that you, coffee, tea, whatever it might be, please join me in celebrating and toasting the beautiful book launch for Christiana Egi. Congratulations, Christiana. You are a beautiful individual, and I wish you so much success. If anyone else wants to say something to Christiana at the moment, please feel free to do so. You can unmute yourself.
Congratulations,
Actually,
Christiana.
I just in closing. Oh, go ahead, Mary.
I was just going to say congratulations. This is so
Thank
exciting.
you. Thank you
Can't wait
so
for your
much.
next book too.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you, every one of you, for being here. But by the same token, I want to use this opportunity to just honor my late husband.
I just wanted to introduce Madame Sandrine Lescure, the principal of Trafalgar Ridge Montessori. And Christiana, she's asking if you do book readings. Would you come to the school and do a book reading?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Very
She
nice
read
to
A Rose for
meet you.
Grandma. So
Yes,
she's waiting for this
I was like so touched by that book. And I think you're right. We have to start when they're young, during the formative years. It's so important. Character education is so important with children, teaching empathy and inclusion and understanding things. And children are so open-minded that they don't have all these preconceived notions of things, right? So they accept that, and they're very, they're very welcoming of differences. And it's the adults that put on the biases, not the children. So I think that's wonderful to start young.
Thank you so much. It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. So I was trying to say that I just want to honor my late husband, Anthony, because without him, I wouldn't be here. He was the one that got this start, helped me to get this started in the beginning. And I think I pay homage to him from the names in the book. Tony, Grandpa, that my late husband's name was Tony as well, and my grandson as well. So I just want to thank him and pray that his soul continue to rest in peace, and for the love and support of my family. So thank you, everyone. It's been such an honor. And I promise to keep the flag, flying, keep the flames burning, so that I can continue to honor that legacy that we started together, and that, just continue to make a difference every day for different people that we meet. I mean, we are all in this together. We are all in the world together. We should leave the world better than we met it, so let's all join hands and make a difference, and also try to stop dementia from, just exploding, because like Karen said, and like I'd mentioned, I call it new science, because there are many schools of thoughts, there are many. See, science is something that it's a continuum, right? So there's no specific thing. One day it's one thing, another day is something else. But one thing that is definitely true, and one thing that we should all know and hold on to, is that, every time you eat or drink, we are holding up, this is not wine. I think none of us has wine, but you're allowed to drink wine. But everything you put in your mouth will eventually help you to be healthy or cause disease. It takes a while for the human body to destroy. It's more difficult to repair when it's damaged. So if we all live healthy lifestyles, eat, exercise, get enough rest, manage your stress, and so forth, you live a healthier life. Like diabetes, people say, oh, you cannot reverse diabetes. Like Karen said, I did work with her husband. He was taking insulin and on oral medications. And today he doesn't take anything. He's perfectly healthy. So we can do something, no matter what science says. If you are actually able to reverse your disease conditions, it means that it works, right? It's a no-brainer. So I just encourage all of us to try to be healthy, use these books as stepping stones, and let's make a change. Thank you so much for everything, everyone.
Thank you, Christina.
Congratulations,
Christiana.
Christy.
Congratulations, love.
Thank you.
Okay, before we sign off, everyone, I just want to share some of the final comments that we've had come in during this period of time. So Alexandra Egi has sent a whole bunch of hearts to you. Big, beautiful, bold hearts. Emily Campbell, amazing work, Auntie Christy. Uncle Tony would be so proud. Love you. Oh, that's beautiful. Namika, we love you, of course. Amosa also sends wonderful congratulations as well, with a big, beautiful image of that, of the congrats. And then my daughter, Brittany, is also sending you congratulations as well. Namika, she says, yes, a healthy life is so important. So everyone, this brings us to the close of this big, beautiful launch for Christiana and her latest book, Unmasking Grandpa, A Journey Through Vascular Dementia. Thank you all
Thank you,
for
everyone.
being
Thank you
here.
so much.
Thank you, Christiana, for everything that you do in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you, each of our beautiful guests who have joined us and made today even more special and memorable. Thank you for all your kind words, all your generous gifts of giving and sharing. Thank you, Facebook friends, for joining us and being here and sharing all of your beautiful comments with us as well. Please go and purchase Christiana's newest book, Unmasking Grandpa, available on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, hopefully today. If not, it will be there very shortly. Also Barnes and Noble. It will be in Waterstones in the UK as well. And basically on any online store that you might want to go to. So there's another tool that you'll be able to look at as well called bookshop.org. You put in the name of the book that you're looking for. If you are in the US, if you are in Spain, if you are in the UK, you can actually go to a local bookstore and pick up a copy of Christiana's book once you've ordered it through bookshop.org. So with that said, everyone, awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us here. I am Judith Richardson Schroeder. I have been honored to be the host for today's event with Christiana and all of her dear friends. And this is brought to you by Carnelian Moon Publishing Services. So thank you so much for being here, for being you, and for sharing some time out of your day with each of us today. Be well, be safe, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.